Hello and welcome to my follow-up video to our storytime session where we read the story of Shark in the Park by Nick Sharratt. Now in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to put together a picture of Shark in the Park. Just pop that one there. So what you will end up with is a picture that looks like that, and when you lift up the top page there you have your lovely shark themed picture underneath. So that's what you will end up with at the end of the tutorial. So what you need to start with is a piece of plain paper with a circle drawn in the centre. And then from there you would need to cut the circle out. You might need to ask a parent to help you with that so that you've got a piece of paper with a lovely hole going through the middle. And you will also need another piece of just plain paper. We'll come back to that afterwards. So we're going to start with our top piece and just turn that round. Now I've put the circle central but just slightly up a little bit, and that's so that when we're drawing the picture of the shark underneath there, you've got plenty of space on the bottom sheet to draw your whole shark in. Right, so what we will do is we will do our first page. So the scene for the top page is in the park. So we're going to just do the suggestion of some hills or grass, and then what we will do is we'll put in a little fence that gradually goes off to nothing so that it gives the impression that it's going off into the distance. And we will put some lines like this, and as they get further away make the lines closer together so it gives the illusion of being further away. And then what we will do is we will put a lovely tree up on the hill. So we'll do a tree that's a very simple shaped tree like that, and then do almost like a cauliflower head for the tree, and then do some little lines, little curved lines on your tree to give the impression of leaves on there. I'll just make that a little bit thicker. Okay, and I don't know if you remember from one of my previous drawing tutorials, but I said about when I'm doing anything that has sort of wood in it, I like to try and give the impression of knots and lines in the bark of the tree. So we'll do that a little bit on this one, just again to give the impression that there's some texture to the trunk of the tree. And then you're wanting to put some things that go around this central circle. So we will put some lovely fluffy clouds in the sky. Do another one coming over that side, and a couple more little curved lines like that. And then we will put, it's going to be a lovely sunny day, so we're going to put a nice happy sun up in the sky, and that's just a very simple circle shape, which I'm sure most of you have drawn suns at some point, with some lovely lines coming out, and we'll put a little smiley happy face on our sun. And then to finish off the sky, I think what we'll do is to give the impression that there are some birds flying in the sky, and this is a sort of a little bit like a tick but with a curve on the edge, to just give the impression that you've got you've got birds flying in the sky. And then just to finish off this front park scene, we will put in some flowers. So again, just some very simple flower shapes. You give them some little foliage. Dart them around the picture. Now these pictures will really come more into their own once you've added colour into them at the end. But this is just to show you how to make up your initial picture. And we'll put some, that's just to give the impression of some grass blades on the ground. We'll put some more flowers over here. wanted to, you could even pretend that there's a little worm popping up from the ground, popping up to say hello. Give him a little dot. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll put a little hat on his head as well. There we go. Give him a little bit of texture so he looks, yeah. Okay, and I think we're pretty much finished in terms of your front page. And as I said, when you come to colour it in at the end, obviously you'll pop it into life a bit more. So that would be our top page. And then what you need to do is get your second sheet of paper and put it directly underneath and make sure that it's nicely lined up. And then you want to, just get that one, you want to put in the fin of the shark. So if you do a sweeping shape like that, okay. And then pick that top page up and remove it. And now we are going to be moving on to drawing our underpage with our shark picture on. And what you just need to be mindful of when you're doing your picture is that you avoid putting anything in that section there. And if you find it helpful, you'd want to lightly pencil that circle in so that you remind yourself to not put anything in that area. And I'm just going to have to try and remember not to do it as I'm doing it for you today. So there we go. So now we can now carry on and draw our shark. And he's going to come round like that. I'm going to just go over that outline a little bit thicker to make it really pop out of the page. There we go. Just to make that stand out a little bit more on the page, we're going to put in another little fin down at the bottom. And then we're going to put a fin over on this side as well. And then you can start to add in a little bit of detail onto your shark shape. So we're going to give him two very menacing eyes just over here. And I coloured them in yellow, I think, to just kind of make them really pop out. And of course, we've got to give our shark some very sharp teeth. And then some little gill lines there. Okay, so that's our main shark shape. What I'm going to do is just, and if you make a mistake, you can actually rectify it quite easily just by giving a suggestion of a shadow or something there, which I've done just to make that line look a bit more continued. Right, and then we're going to carry on filling in our sea theme. So I'm going to put in some lovely grass that's lying on the seabed like this. Lovely, very quick, fluid shapes. Put some lines on the leaves. And when you come to colour this in, you can put sort of 2 or 3 colours on these leaves, and it really does give a nice kind of three-dimensional finish to them. And we'll put some more over on this side like that. Now we'll put some more lines running down the middle. So you could use sort of 2 or 3 different coloured greens all on the same thing, and it does look really, really nice to have more than the one colour running through. We're going to put in a lovely octopus. So we'll put our octopus up here. So it has a lovely big bulbous head, and then we've got to get the legs in. And remember that our octopus is going to have 8 legs, And it doesn't matter if the picture goes off the page, because I think I said in my last tutorial that it actually looks really good when you have an image that's going off the scene, because it just means that it gives the impression that the picture is extended on from there, and it's just a nice way sometimes to do things. So we'll put another little leg coming up there. Drawing legs that are interlocking one another does take a bit of practice, but with practice you do get it right. So how many legs have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 1, 2, 3. I need to put in another, oh golly, a few more to fit in yet. So let's put a couple down there. One going up there, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I need to get an 8th leg in. So what I will do is put, there we go. So just about managed to get our 8th leg in. So that does, as I said, that does take a bit of practice. And the more you do it, the more you will get used to fitting them in. There we go, I'm just going to make that a little bit more prominent. Okay, and then obviously we're going to give the octopus 2 lovely big circular eyes. And a smiley face. And then we're going to add in a little bit of detail to our octopus. So I'm going to put little circles on this one, particularly on the tentacles, because octopuses have these little suckers on their tentacles. And when you come to colour this in, you can again colour in the little circles or tentacles, suckers, a different colour to the actual main octopus shape, and it gives a lovely contrast again. There we are. I'll just put in a few more. I'll put some over on this side. Now I am trying to do this relatively quickly, just so that you don't get bored of watching me do it. But when you're doing this at home and you've got a little bit more time on your hands, you can take a little bit more time over that if you want to. So there's our octopus, and then we're going to put in a couple of little fish. Now I just need to double check. I think I've just about got away with, where's our initial circle? Oh, let me just check if I've got away with, oh, I've just about, it's just peeping into the picture, but I've just about got away with that one, I think. We're going to put in a lovely clownfish, or as I like to call them, little Nemo fish. There we go. And if any of you have ever seen the film Nemo, Finding Nemo, you will know what I mean by a clownfish. And if you haven't seen the film, I highly recommend that you try and watch it during this time that we're at home more, because it's a lovely film. There we go. So I'm going to put in, clownfish have these really pretty little markings. Need to concentrate for a couple of minutes just to get that in. There we go. And then we'll put in the little fins, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. And the clownfish really comes to life when you colour it in. As you can see, he's a lovely orange with white stripes. We'll put in another little clownfish. Little smaller one. two little fins, top and bottom. There we go. So I think one more thing I want to pop in is starfish. I do love starfish, so we're just going to put a starfish in here, and I have to try not to make him too big because I obviously don't want him to pop into the picture, but I'll just make that nice and prominent. Right, and we're going to give our little starfish a face. Why not? The octopus has got a little face, so why not our little starfish as well? And we'll put some little dots running. We'll do a little line going up each leg, and then a little dot either side of the line. So there we have our main picture there. We just need to pop in some bubbles. So from our shark, we will have some bubbles, and that's just circles. And you can start them off bigger and make them smaller as they go away until they become just dots. Put some little, and you can do these little dots and water bubbles. You can overlock them. So we've got a circle and then another circle interlocked, and that looks quite effective. And just keep on adding little air bubbles coming round like this. A few more up here. We're definitely going to have some coming from our little clownfish. Now we need to have some bubbles coming across our shark, like that, and then we'll just do some little lines, and I think we're again almost there. So I'm not going to colour this picture in, I just wanted to show you how to build up your picture, and I think we're probably about okay with that one. So you'd draw your own picture and colour it in. I like to use a combination of felt tip pens and crayons, because what that does is it gives a lovely kind of build up of textures on your page, and it kind of gives it more of a pop out feeling to it. And so have a go at that one. So that would be your bottom page coloured in like this, and your top page coloured in like that, and then you will end up with a lovely picture like this that you can impress your family with. So I hope you have great fun doing that one, and I will see you again at my next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.